First it was AntennaGate, then it was GlassGate, and now wait, it's Spygate? A video has surfaced on the problem of iOS 5 on a white iPhone 4, and iOS 4.3.2 gets an untethered jailbreak. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everybody, I'm Jaime Rivera and welcome to the Pocket Now iReview, the show where we go through all this week's cool and the not so cool inside the world of Apple's iOS devices. Let's start this week off with the cool. Now, a video has surfaced on a Chinese website of a white iPhone 4 sporting 64 gigabytes of storage, which is really nice. But the interesting part here is seeing that iOS is a bit different. If you could notice at the video, you'll see that multitasking is different. It's no longer at the bottom, but now it's a sort of an expose feature that we find on all Macs, and that we could probably expect that to be probably an early build of iOS 5. Now, not really sure if that will be iOS 5 or iOS 4.5, or probably just a jailbroken, prototype out there of somebody that just found it on the street or on a bar. Really don't know what to make of it, but hopefully if this does come to iOS 5, let's hope it's soon, because everything seems to be working well there. No sort of lagginess or anything. We could probably expect that not to be a really early build. Now, iOS 4.3.2 was released a couple of weeks ago. It got a tethered jailbreak just a couple of hours later, and now the untethered jailbreak has just been released through Redsn. It has the same exploit that was used for iOS 4.3.1. It seems that Apple did not patch that with the release of 4.3.2, and well, even though it was a little problematic at the beginning with the iPhone 4, the fix is out there right now. You can download it from the Dev Team blog, and well, happy jailbreaking. Now, Apple's quarter results are in. A whopping 18.6 million iPhones were sold in just one quarter. Out of those, 2.2 million were sold in Verizon, not bad. 3.6 million were sold on AT&T, and then the rest was sold outside the United States. Now, interesting enough for those AT&T figures is the fact that AT&T only sold 5.5 million smartphones in the period. 3.6 million out of that is 60% of the smartphone sales for only the first quarter were iPhones. And then if you look at Apple's figures, 50%, almost 50% of Apple's revenue came from iPhones. Now, for those of you that say that the iPhone's dying, I call it a really good business. Well, if you remember our last week iReview where we talked about the A5 chip making the next generation iPhone, which is probably a given, Apple seems to be cutting a really cool deal with developers where select developers are getting an early on iPhone 4 with an A5 chip to allow them to prepare their applications for the next generation iPhone release. Now, call this the iPhone 4S, or probably the next generation iPhone is just going to be an iPhone 4 with a lot more power. That's rumors out there, but then again, it's really cool to see that Apple is working ahead to have developers prepared for the applications to be A5 compatible before the device releases. Now, speaking of Sony, they've just released an iOS application called Crackle, which is really cool because it brings you free TV and free movies to your iOS device. I will be asking, what's the catch? Well, it's free, but you'll have to wait for 30 seconds on each video to watch ads, which is pretty much the same deal you get on TV, right? Now, it comes to compete with Hulu and Netflix, which is another really cool option, but then again, let me warn you, we're getting close to the not so cool section, and what's not cool here is that it's buggy as bugs can come. Now, hopefully they'll update it and bring some better options, but for now, it lags. It sometimes plays, it sometimes doesn't play, but it's free. Well, that does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. First it was AntennaGate, then it was GlassGate, and now we have Spygate. Why? Well, we all know that our cell phones are homing devices. Anybody could actually know where you are just by looking at an antenna cell tower and trying to look for you with your number or your unique device ID. Now, the thing is, when Apple is using your iOS device ever since iOS 4 was released and tracking your every move and saving it on your computer every time you sync. The question is, what happens to that information whenever your device syncs? Does it transmit your information somewhere? Is it there just for you to watch but not tell you? Not really sure what to expect out of this, but it really is ugly. So if you have a jailbroken iPhone, there is a way to cut this off. We actually posted about this, but then again, not really sure what to expect. Let's hope that Apple cuts the deal, or at least sends us a press release saying, hey, we're not perfect and we're cutting it down. And well, it was bound to happen. Samsung just got sued by Apple because of how their Samsung Galaxy S line and their new Galaxy tablet, the 10-point-something inch tablet, looks exactly like the iPhone and the iPad. Now, well, if we are honest about this, yes, the Samsung Galaxy S line looks like an iPhone 3GS. Whether you want to accept it or not, it does. And, well, I'd probably call on to Apple and say, man, you guys don't really have really good designers out there that could just come up with something that's unique and not looking like the iPhone. But then again, Apple, why do you have to be suing everybody? I mean, you're already making money. No other company in tech makes as much money as you do. So, what's wrong with other companies liking to be copycats? That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.